Hey guys, great to be back. Thanks so much for your nice comments in the last video. Had so much fun doing that, and today's going to be a ton of fun too. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to work with a very simple razored bob. This is a previous haircut that I did a while back where it was a really steep A-line, that kind of lob effect. Now I want to transition her into something new and fresh. It's going to be a lot of layers, a lot of brokenness, a lot of kind of fun, and as we come into the springtime. And here you can see on a previous haircut, a little bit shorter underneath. I'm going to incorporate that into the haircut, but I'm actually going to start out right here in the top. Okay, so let's get started. The very first thing that I'm going to do is actually take a diamond section in the very top. This is where I'm going to start the haircut, even though we're going to get rid of a decent amount of perimeter length. And so as I go in, I'm just going to elevate this up really nice and high, and I'm going to have my razor sit parallel to the hair, and right in here, just going to gently shatter that out. So as I come from the side, all right, you can see that that blade is right next to. I'm not coming in like this angle, just shattering that out. So the very first section now is established. As I bring her around, I'm now going to take a section from the very top all the way down. Changing my hand position, you can see that section's quite wide. I'm actually going to go ahead and use the wide side of my comb, and the shortest part of the hair acts as my guide. Allow my fingers to travel past, and again, deep shatter. This is fun, all right? So this is now going to sit and blend into a previous shorter effect that I created. As I come in, now I'm going to work with a pie section all the way through the back to the top of the ear. As I do that, I've got two guides, the shortest hair through the top and the guide that I just created. As I get closer to the ear, I'm going to start to draw this hair back so that I start to preserve length. Again, shatter that out, lowering that hair as I come. So I can see here, I've got setting myself up for some really interesting shapes in through the back to establish my length. Do the same thing here on the other side. So I've established the back, but don't worry about the bottom just yet. Why? Because that'll be the very last thing that we're going to detail and create. So what I want to do now is working with a diagonal part from that original section. Remember, this is the length that I've been working from, and I'm going to take that from back through to the front and get the hair that I don't need out of the way. As you can see, my length at the very highest point of the head is establishing what I'm going to do through the front. I'm just going to work from short to long into the front. Once I've done that, I'm going to separate this out, and we're going to pivot off of those areas. Okay, so I've completed both the back and then worked in that pivot through the front. Now here's the deal, because I've got so much movement going on in the back, but I preserved length through the sides, I have a difference in movement between the two. So what I'm going to use is diagonal sections to get a really nice blend, which will give me amazing shape through the exterior shape, so it'll grow out really, really nicely. Okay, so as I take those diagonal sections, I don't actually need section clips. I'm just going to let this be very, very soft, elevate that head gently, and work from short in the back to long in the front. Bring that next section, again, just drawing that back slightly, because by me directing that back, I preserve the length that I want to see in the very front. Again, look how aggressive I'm going in with cutting that line. So it's not a precision cut, by any stretch of the imagination. Again, leaving myself plenty of hair so that when I come back in and establish the length, that's going to be the very last thing that I do. So this is one of my favorite things about working with haircuts, where you actually create the interior first and then establish the exterior. Because as you can see through here, right about this point, it's almost like the haircut's telling me that's where it needs to be. So again, I'm going to kind of lose the comb and trust my fingers and just break this up gently. It doesn't even have to be terribly organized, but I can see the length that I want to establish. And again, just shattering that out and working from back to front. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to kind of kill that angle a little bit and have something that's a little bit more square, just because that's the point of the haircut. This is really for the guest who's like, I do want to try something different for spring. I do want to have it noticeably different. And for us as stylists to kind of have the courage to take them to the length that really makes that kind of change, that wow factor. Again, bringing her around and shattering this out. So this is just you putting your comb away, trusting yourself to go ahead and really kind of sculpt out the shape that you want. You can see by me coming in vertically here that I break that line up even more. It really gives a great effect. I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing over on the other side. So I'm going to show you a really quick way to establish a face frame on this bob. Go in, you can see that I've taken 3 small subsections either side. And I'm going to come in and choose the landmark of the face that I want to show. In this case, it's right around the mouth. Coming in with my razor, letting that sit under, and gently shatter that out. I then go immediately over to the other side, same landmark of the face, and I'm happy with that length. Immediately bring in subsection number 2 and start to curve that around. Same thing on the other side. Bring that second subsection into play. Work that down. Notice how low my elevation is. I'm not pulling it towards me. I'm just working with the hair where it naturally wants to live. And then finally, with that third subsection, just bringing that right into the perimeter length, and I have myself a nice face frame. All right, so we've completed the blow dry using a paddle brush and then a round brush just to smooth those ends. Now I'm going to go back in with my texturizing shear and just gently break up any lines where I see some heaviness. Sometimes on this side where the part is can be a little too heavy and it's just offset. So again, don't be afraid to come in. Trust yourself by elevating the hair just with your fingers, not necessarily using a comb all the time. Detail any loose ends that you might see, because remember this isn't a precision cut, so you saw it was very broken. And then of course in the back, we can see now that movement come to life. I really like the fact that the hair on the underneath is still a little bit undercut, which supports that. So if she wants to go in and really kind of break that up or use some product to kind of get it kicking out, it'll do that really, really well. Listen, I hope you enjoyed this haircut. It's a lot of fun, very, very simple. Listen, we love to share with you, so comments below, anything that you may want to see, engage with us. We'd love to answer any questions that you may have here on The Salon Guy.